Zambia Catholic University.
Radio Changelo, restoring everything in Christ with love and truth. Good afternoon. With the main news, I'm Justina Matandiko Mukuka. Kindly be informed that we are also live on the Radio Changelo Facebook page. The headlines: over 70 final year students at the Copperbelt University denied writing exams. Do not charge members of the public not wearing face masks. Buildcon Football Club confident of bouncing back. And other main news in detail. Over 70 final year students at the Copperbelt University were not allowed to write exams after failing to meet the 8% threshold tuition fee as advised by management. The students who began exams yesterday were chased out of the exam room halfway into writing their paper. Copperbelt University Students' Union Kabusu President Lawrence Kasonde confirmed the development to Radio Ichengelo News that visited the Riverside campus in Kitwe today. Mr. Kasonde said it was unfortunate that some students were not allowed to write their final exams, adding that CBU management should look at the economic hardships coupled with the effects of COVID-19 that parents are facing. He said CBU management should allow students to write their papers and later hold on to their results, as opposed to not permitting them to sit for exams.
That we've had students that have been anxiously preparing for their exams. And then, as of yesterday, some gladly went to the exams with the hope that they're going to write. But suddenly, they were denied that opportunity. They wrote to management, even appealing that it holds on to the results of these students until they finish paying their school fees, that they should be allowed to write it. Unfortunately, there has been no response.
And some affected students said they were saddened with the decision by CBU management.
I started writing. The exam is 3 hours. Yeah, so in the middle of the exam, which was after an hour 30 minutes, they grabbed my answer sheet. They got it away from me and they told me to leave the exam room.
I didn't write my exam because I didn't reach the 80% threshold. I was in the exam room, and then after 30 minutes, the examiner came back. Then he wanted to check my exam slip. Then I explained to him that I didn't reach the threshold that he told me to go. And the situation is bad. And the papers were put separate with the rest. So that means that I don't think I'm going to be marked because of this issue.
Some young people are expecting more empowerment programs from the government after the recent launch of the multi-sectorial approach to youth empowerment by the government. Several youths from cooperatives were present when President Edgar Lungu launched the multi-sectorial approach to youth empowerment at the weekend. Valentine Kuka has more.
Youths have taken to social media platforms such as Facebook and WhatsApp to express concerns on their plight. Top on the youth agenda has been youth empowerment. Youths have been seeking meaningful empowerment to boost their businesses or start up new ones. In this vein, President Edgar Lungu at the weekend launched a multi-sectoral approach to youth empowerment in Ndola, where youths from various parts of the country, like Kasama, gathered for an exhibition as well.
The Patriotic Front Government remains available to work with you for the betterment of our country. It is now my singular honor and privilege to relaunch the multi-sectoral approach to youth empowerment.
Some youth talked to from Arena Nganduku of Kasama said they expect improved youth empowerment programs in the country.
So happy to receive these guys, which will be helping us in so many things that we'll be doing as the cooperative. We're so happy.
This launch has been awesome, and we look for more of this. Otherwise, it will be helpful to us with supplying products.
Actually, we're just happy to be part of this special occasion.
Don Mulwe, the PF Coordinating Chairman, was present at the launch.
This is what the youth have been waiting for, and I think we are humbled that we are blessed because the national, launching of this very important, youth empowerment has been done on the Copper Belt. I think it's about time that youths became industrious and look at the bigger picture.
Meanwhile, youth activist and UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson Subeta Mutelo said youth empowerment programs must be sustainable and non-partisan.
Real empowerment to the youth able to daily life way. To some skills, to penny free education, to penny education, real education. School, desk, and they are calling 490 million empowerment. That's not empowerment, that's a handout. For me, I'm calling this 490 million empowerment to the youth on the Copper Belt as a joke.
Some youths empowered during the launch of the Mao Sexual Outpost Youth Empowerment are involved in recycling plastics, agriculture, fish farming, and beekeeping. For Radio Channel News, I am Valentine Kuka in Dola.
Meanwhile, young people have been identified as a key asset of any society, and government says it wants to put the needs of youths as a priority. Speaking when he launched a project dubbed Enhancing Adolescent Sexual Reproductive Health Rights and Services at Lothian House in Kitwe today, Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Bright Nundwe said government is willing to support youthful initiatives and innovative. Mr. Nundwe also said that there was need to continue creating enabling environments for youths to create decent employment at all levels and ensure good health for all. This was in a speech read for him by Kitwe District Commissioner Chileshe Welpe.
Focus on building the capacity of youth from various organizations and communities to participate in decision making and engage with the relevant leaders in promoting youth development, especially access to sexual reproductive health service in these critical times of the epidemic COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been further informed that in line with the organization's mandate, AAAZ is implementing a 2-year project whose main goal is to enhance adolescent sexual reproductive health services in Zambia through capacity building of youth-led organizations.
The 2-year project that has been launched is being implemented by the Alliance for Accountability Advocates Zambia AAAZ, and AAAZ Executive Director Luchembe Chilufya highlighted on the Enhancing Adolescent Sexual Reproductive Health Rights and Services project.
Being launched today is a 2 years project that we're going to be doing in Copperbelt, Muchinga, and Eastern Province. What we're looking at is, one, providing information to youths and adolescents on the issues that affect us as youths and also as adolescents and young people. We realize that, of course, we are found in communities, and where we are found, we have these health-friendly services that are supposed to be provided for us. But still, there are a lot of challenges that come about.
Meanwhile, Kitwe District Health Office Health Facility Adolescent Coordinator Kennedy Mumba spoke on the importance of giving information and space on child rights, gender-based violence, and early marriages to adolescents.
Health facility to have adolescent-friendly space so that we can interact with those with different problems. If you go to Rwanda to find this adolescent-friendly space, you got to go to the adolescent-friendly space. All facilities, we are bringing adolescents together so that they can learn about early marriages and the gender-based violences, child human rights. All those issues are being articulated at the health facility level.
Police in Muthlera this morning swung into action to enforce the mandatory wearing of face masks in public places. A surge in new COVID-19 compelled President Edgar Lungu to direct the Zambia police to help in ensuring that guidelines against coronavirus are enforced. Police officers were seen patrolling the central business district, and those who had not masked up scampered in different directions. Meanwhile, Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo has regretted that some police officers were collecting $750 from members of the public not putting on face masks as admission of guilt fee. Mr. Kampiongo said the police command has since released a circular to all police commissioners that officers should stop the act, which should only be done by the courts of law. He said police officers should instead warn and sensitize members of the public on the dangers of COVID-19. Pope Francis is asking the faithful to recognize that many do not have enough to eat, hence the need to draw near struggling families and provide aid. He has also asked that all those who are still suffering from COVID and its effects must not be forgotten. According to the Zenith News website, Pope Francis stressed this from his window to socially distant faithful in St. Peter's Square after the midday prayer. Konkola Copper Mines KCM says it has not cleared the debt owed to contractors and suppliers as reported in one of the daily newspapers. Provisional liquidator Milingo Lungu says, contrary to the story attributed to him in one of the daily tabloids surrounding the liquidation process, the company has made significant strides in clearing some outstanding debt. Mr. Milingo said the company continues to engage suppliers and contractors of goods and services on new terms post-liquidation, adding that all historical debt pre-liquidation will only be settled after conclusion of the liquidation process, in line with provisions of the law. He stressed that new debt is being given priority in terms of settlement for various reasons by ensuring the sustainability of KCM and protecting employment. Mr. Milingo has further urged stakeholders owed money by KCM to remain patient as the debt owed by the company will be settled in full once the liquidation process is over. This is contained in a statement issued by KCM General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Shapi Shachinda. In sports, supporters of Biltcon Football Club in Ndola are confident that the team will bounce back after struggling in the ended 2019-2020 First Super Division season. Biltcon spent most of the last season fighting relegation and needed the last 3 games to survive the chop. Speaking to Radio Chengelo Sports, supporters group representative Dan Mambwe said fans were happy that the team managed to survive. Mambwe also saluted Biltcon owner Moses Mulanga for his commitment to the team.
Kuti batera ngu 2021 so kuti baisati yako na kuti content nga traffic batera ili ndeto tera sana kuti timu ya Bitcoin alitemwa sana nebo soka fani wa Bitcoin elo takuri muntu kati ndo kuma Bitcoin.
This news broadcast comes to you in the community service of Radio Chengelo with compliments of Moose Milling, Zambia Catholic University and the Zambia National Building Society. And now the international news as monitored from the BBC. The Italian government says it will give $13 million to Tunisia to help the country strengthen its maritime borders and stop hundreds of migrants crossing the Mediterranean in small boats. During a visit to Tunis, Italy's Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio said there was no more room in his country for people who arrived illegally. The Italian government has already offered to train Tunisian land and sea forces to halt the departure of asylum seekers. The Nigerian government has announced that it will reopen the country's airspace for international passenger flights from the 29th of August. Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika tweeted that the flight's resumption will begin with the country's major airports in the capital, Abuja, and the commercial hub, Lagos. The minister said details of protocols and procedures will be announced in due course. And finally, Michelle Obama has launched a stinging attack on US President Donald Trump as Democrats prepare to crown Joe Biden as their White House challenger. The former US First Lady, in an emotional recorded message to the Democratic Convention, said Donald Trump is the wrong president for the US. She asked Americans to vote for Joe Biden as if their lives depended on it. And that item brings us to the end of our main news. The headlines once again. Over 70 final year students at the Copperbelt University denied writing exams. Do not charge members of the public not wearing face masks. Biltcon Football Club confident of bouncing back. For these and more stories, you can visit our Facebook page. Log on to Facebook and like the Radio Chengelo page and link to radiochengelo.radio12345.com. You can still listen to the rebroadcast of the news on our YouTube channel. Also listen to us on Radio Garden. Remember to play your part in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic by adhering to the safety guidelines as outlined by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. Wear a mask when in public, avoid large groups and maintain social distance. Avoid unnecessary movements, wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a flexed elbow, handkerchief, or tissue. On behalf of the entire news team and Stalon Chewe on the sound controls, my name is Justina Matandiko Mukuka. Have a wonderful afternoon.